Hi, my name is Joyce Seki. I'm your online therapist and emotional wellness coach. I'm concerned about your emotional wellness and mental well-being. I help individuals across the globe, online and in physical training, to achieve inner peace and happiness. In today's video, I want to share on us putting an end to the unhealthy coping skills. Yes. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Cheers. Alright, I want to share with us on actually putting an end to the unhealthy coping skills. Okay, we are human beings and highly emotional for that matter. It means that most things that happen around our life will, in a way, create an emotional response and reaction, right? So because we naturally run from the things that make us unhappy, like painful stuff and things that create any form of stress, it means that one way or another we're always coping. So it now depends on how we are actually coping. Are we maximizing healthy coping skills or destroying ourselves in unhealthy coping skills? What are coping skills? Basically, coping skills are just habits that help us to manage through very difficult and challenging times, all right? Because they help us to minimize. That's the key word. It's not like they eliminate, they do in so many ways minimize the painful or stressful situations, okay? So when things happen, we want to find a way to cope, all right, because we want to feel better. Okay, we want to take out the stress, we want to experience relief or pleasure from the pain. So that's where coping skills comes in. So whether we're conscious of it or not, we are actually daily imbibing on particular coping skills. All right, so I want to talk on this unhealthy coping skills and the healthy ones that we can actually start to learn for our own emotional awareness and mental well-being. Those ones that bring up peace of mind should be our focus. Some coping skills seem helpful in the moment but are damaging, and this type of coping skills are unhealthy. For instance, taking alcohol or drugs or stimulants, okay, because something unfortunate happened and you're feeling bad and you don't want to feel those feelings, you don't want to hear those feelings, you want to numb it, and so you go into excessive alcohol usage. Alcohol is a depressant. So what it means is that the moment you start to take it, you feel calm, you feel this unusual peace, contrary to the stress or pain you were going through prior to taking the alcohol or the drug and all of those other stimulants. And so it becomes enticing to want to take more because you want this more experience. You want more of that pleasurable experience. You don't want the pain. You want to numb the pain. And this seems to be working. And so you keep taking more. All right. Unfortunately, the more you take it, you would need more the next time to actually achieve the first level of calmness or pleasure that you experienced the first time. And that's how we develop addictive behavior towards stimulants, alcohol, drugs, and all of you. And that is actually not helpful because it affects our mental health and at the same time our finances. We spend so much on alcohol and drug consumption that we can actually run into financial crisis, and worse, we can become addicts, and so we start facing another addiction crisis. Addiction is not a funny thing, you know. So these are unhealthy. Even though in the moment that we're using it, it seems to be numbing the pain, it's a danger zone that we're moving into. It is not helpful and it's not healthy eventually, all right? Another part is always avoiding the situation, trying to avoid the pain, all right? Trying to not look at the pain, not listen to it, not trying to distract yourself in an unhealthy way, all right? So the pain is coming up and you find something, you're watching a movie or you're crunching, okay, and you're just doing anything not to feel what you're feeling. One of the things I tell people is that until we feel our pain, we cannot heal from it. We really can't. The pain that you have not felt, that you have not grieved, is difficult to heal from. So you must go through that grief, all right? I know it's painful. I know it's not something that is desirable, but we must go through it. That's how we develop resilience. That's how we develop the strength to go through challenging times that will mostly reoccur again in life, because these things will always happen, all right? Life is not a smooth ride, but it's worth it, all right? Another part is us indulging in excessive shopping. Some people are unhappy and they shop. They spend without thinking. Why? Because they feel pleasure from spending. And they run into financial crisis. Okay, some go into excessive binge eating. Okay, so they keep eating and eating, become overweight, or some stay away from food, lose weight, or some sleep excessively or run from sleep. They take stimulants not to sleep. Okay, and some just keep sleeping. They won't wake up to do stuff. They wake up, they're tired of life, they go back, they keep sleeping. Right? All of this is a way to run from the pain. I've heard some people tell me that I experience peace only when I'm asleep, especially when I've slept off. That's the only moment I have peace. So I try to sleep. And in the process, some people start to indulge in sleeping tablets. Imagine. These are problems. You need to deal with your problems. You cannot continue to run away from your problem. All right? You need to face it. You're an adult now. You're a grown up, and you cannot continue to run from the things that is constituting stress and pain to your life. All right? You want to model coping skills that are healthy and at the same time moving you forward towards your desirable goal. All right? There are ways to do this. Okay? Sometimes when we're going through very difficult or stressful situations, we might experience something called cognitive dissonance. That means something is bringing you pleasure and at the same time bringing you pain. Okay, for instance, you have a relationship, you like the relationship, you actually want it, but it's creating a lot of pain and you keep complaining about this relationship, right? You might have tried those unhealthy coping skills, or maybe you haven't. I want to suggest something. You think about it. Is this within your control? If it's within your control, what can you do? It's two things. Maybe you have tried in the past to make it work and it's not working. So you do what we call problem-focused coping skill. That means you're focused on removing the problem, on dealing with the problem. So you remove the dissonance, cut off the relationship, end it. Create a boundary around yourself. Protect yourself from this toxicity. All right? That's how we deal with certain issues. Or maybe it's a job. You've always been complaining about this job. I had that similar experience. I made a decision. I didn't have a new job before I left the job. But I saw that the pain the job was causing me was much more than the remuneration or anything around it. And what did I do? I removed the dissonance. I cut off the job. I dropped my resignation letter and I moved on with my life. All right? So, and that helped me. The first day I dropped my resignation letter, I felt some form of calmness. Life wasn't easy after then, but I'm better off now, and I'm glad that I made that decision. Okay, so sometimes we just have to be problem focused by dealing with the problem. Okay, that's one of the ways we can actually cope for situations that we have control over. All right, or if you don't want to leave the job, you want to apply in some places, tell people that you need a job, or you have some savings, you want to start some business, just do something. All right, another one is a situation where you are actually concerned about how the stressful or painful situation makes you feel emotionally. You want to learn to manage these emotions, but you don't want to end it, or you don't want to cut off the situation. You just want to learn to manage it. All right, or you don't have control over the situation. Sometimes we don't have control over stuff, but we have control over our reactions and responses. We have control over our thoughts. And so we want to find better ways to actually navigate through those painful and stressful events. In that case, you might do something we call emotion-focused coping skills. That means you're focused on managing your emotions, all right, but you're not doing the other way around of the problem focus. You're not trying to cut off the dissonance. You just want to manage through successfully. All right, so what can you do? You can do many things that distract you in a healthy way. All right, while you're feeling the feelings, you're able to actually embrace the feelings, but at the same time you want to not allow this feeling overweigh you. You can listen to cool music that speaks to your soul. You can write what you're feeling, have time to draw what you're feeling, paint what you're feeling if you are the artistic type. You can question what you're feeling, if you're the type that is curious. All right, so there are so many ways you can write about it. Some people write novels out of their pain. And through the process of that writing, they become free. They are able to cope in that moment until the situation lessens or is naturally gone, or at least pending when what they have no control over still stands. So they are able to at least manage their emotions and manage through that period of their life. Okay, so there's so many ways. You want to find what works for you, but one thing I always tell people: be decisive. Do not indulge yourself in unhealthy coping skills. In the moment they seem helpful, you gain pleasure from shopping, and then you never get satisfied. You find yourself in financial crisis. That's more problem. Okay, so unhealthy coping skills create secondary problems that you might have to now deal with, and that aggravates the initial issues. Okay, and that's not what you want, is it? If you need help, you can seek the help of a professional therapist or a coach to help you through all of this crisis or the event that is creating this stress and pain around your life. Whatever you do, be decisive. Okay?